Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. It's November 2021 at the time of this posting. And today's podcast is all about how to get Instagram followers. This is what we all want to know, right? Well, this is what we all want. This is installment 3 of 4 in our series about the 4 evergreen key components that don't change on Instagram. If you have missed episodes 1 and 2, go back to season 2, episode 13. Does your Instagram bio attract or repel potential clients? And then episode 14, rate your Instagram content with these proven techniques. I will link these in the show notes, but those are the first 2 key components: a solid bio and solid content for drawing followers and converting into clients. So today we're talking about followers. My team and I are always researching trends and changes on the platform to keep you and my membership in the loop. So be sure to follow or subscribe to the podcast to get episodes when they drop. But before I share today's episode, if you're listening the week of November 22nd, the very day this drops, I want to invite you to my live today on Instagram at 1 p.m. on my Authentic Marketing Pod Instagram account, because I'm going to share the very next evergreen component to a solid account right there. So you don't even have to wait till next week to hear it. It's all about how to drive traffic off the platform and onto your podcast, website, blog, product, wherever you really need followers to go. And it works. So set a reminder right now to meet me there live so you can ask questions. But the live is Monday, today, November 22nd at 1 p.m. on my Instagram Live, Eastern Standard Time, where I'll give number 4. And I'm going to spill the beans on my early Black Friday sale that starts today. You don't want to miss it because the early bird bonuses are out of this world and they're only around until midnight, Wednesday night, the 24th of November, 2021, by the way. So think Instagram meets email list building for a brilliant marketing plan to create solid followers, readers, and conversions for your marketing. Don't miss it. Okay, so today's episode is, of course, how to get the followers. So key component number 1 of the 4 evergreen components on Instagram is a solid bio. Component number 2 is content, that is value content. And in this series, I took a walk down memory lane about our local cafe we frequented each Sunday after church when our kids were growing up. It was a whole experience with the K&W lady. She was the face of really the establishment there. And I likened that to your bio and how people look at that to see, kind of the vibe of what you're doing and what you offer. And then the choices behind the counter, the foods served for that day, that I liken to your content. So today, our topic of followers falls along the lines of community. You must build community in order to gain followers. It's simply essential. You can't gain followers without establishing community. I always say community grows opportunity. I teach this a lot inside my community and within every new program that I release, including the one released just today. It always has a community team building aspect to it because I believe that is so important for growth. So you must build community in order to gain followers. It's essential. And so K&W grew community through committed frequenters like us going and eating there and then telling others how much we loved it. Some Sundays after church, we'd invite friends to join us for the experience. And they told their friends and they told their friends and so on. And that built their following. Word of mouth is spectacular for building your brand and business. When people become committed followers, they share your content. And that, my friends, is just invaluable to growing a solid platform. When they share your content to stories and tag you, and when they share it in the DM to other people, that shows that your content is really resonating and you build a solid following that way. So think of it this way. Followers transition into potential clients, but you must have your message clear, like we talked about in the previous episodes on bio and content. That said, let's talk about the following 6 steps to build followers that don't just come to sample and then they don't return, but they stay and then they tell others to come too. Here we go.
Welcome to Authentic Online Marketing with Ruthie Gray. Growing awareness for your blog, podcast, book, or product involves more than dancing to reels and yelling, "Buy my thing." This show models quality over clamor so you can put your spin on your message and market in a way that feels authentic to you, because nobody wants to sound like an infomercial. And now, here's your host, Ruthie Gray.
Okay, so number 1, spruce up your Instagram account's initial vibe. In other words, maybe it's a little old or tired or not quite relevant or up to speed for your industry. So one thing you can do is spend some time in the Explore tab in the search bar and look at what others are doing in your same industry. Study their graphics, their reels, the look, and then look at yours and think, is this visually cohesive? Is it appealing? So I don't want you to put pressure on yourself for the perfect feed, because that's one thing I encourage my people to do is just get started and don't try to be perfect and get all up in your head about it. Because when we do that, often it just holds us back from posting. So that's not what I'm talking about. But maybe pick 3 colors, 3 main colors that you want to use, and use those in the clothing that you wear, the graphics that you create, even the landscaping pictures or other pictures that you choose to use. If you'll look at my Instagram account, you'll see a lot of turquoise and a lot of blues. And it kind of goes with my whole beach theme, because we live part-time near the beach. And so, there's always blue waters, blue-green waters, and all that kind of thing. My desk there in Florida is blue-green. My office is blue-green. In West Virginia, the barnwood wall behind my desk, if you've seen those pictures, it's got all the blues and greens. I wear those colors whenever I go live or whenever I show pictures of myself or whenever I do video. Those are the colors that I use. And then when my daughter creates my graphics, we use all of those colors that blend and go together. So don't overthink this, but try to see if maybe you could come up with more tutorial graphics and things like that. That is pretty hot right now, the steps to take. And you can use Canva. It's so easy to go in there and just use the tools that they have right there and blend that with your colors and your brand. So think about sprucing up your account and how that looks. Number 2. Showcase your Instagram by cross-platforming. So what I mean by that is you can easily post from Instagram onto Facebook if you have a business account, which you should if you're really trying to grow your Instagram platform. You have to link your Facebook page, business page, to your Instagram account. So you can easily toggle a button there that makes it easy to cross-pollinate, go across both platforms. You can do this in software like later.com. I've talked about that before. It's a scheduling software, and they have other social media platforms like Pinterest, Twitter, and so forth. honestly, I always tell people to really capitalize on, if you're building an Instagram account, capitalize on that and be present there, but also kind of try to do double and triple duty and cross-pollinate. So that kind of develops awareness on the other platforms. And you know what? An easy thing to do if you're already on Facebook personally is start talking about what you do on your personal account. Every once in a while, just kind of feed it out there. So cross-pollinate, cross-platform to help get more followers. Number 3, start a conversation with your posts. Make it open-ended. True or false? Fridays are better than Mondays. That's an easy one. But if you use hotter topics or controversial issues, or even just ask for opinions, let it be open-ended instead of always pushing your agenda. Yeah, we have an agenda. We have a business. We have services that we want to promote. And yet, if we're always doing that, I've talked before how it deadens our audience. So you really have to get your audience involved. So start a conversation. Ask them where they're from. Talk about your state. Ask them where they're from. Ask them about their business. Ask them about their podcast. Ask them to tag a friend who has a cooking blog. I'm trying to think of things that you could do, in whatever your industry is, to open the conversation. Because if you get people talking on your post, Instagram, the algorithm sees that post is blowing up and gaining traction, and it'll show it to more people, and more people will comment. This is a great follower generator and community builder. So start a conversation with your posts. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, collaborate. Okay, this is a big one for me. Y'all know this. My members inside my insider membership know this. I am always encouraging collaborations. Go live with a friend who complements your industry, or do a giveaway together. I mentioned last week in the last episode about content, do a challenge and do it with someone else at the same time. An email challenge or some kind of Instagram challenge, or just any kind of challenge that goes along with your brand. But collaboration can go even farther with sales or podcasting. Anything that you can think of that you can do with someone else helps spread the word because you're sharing audiences. So collaborate. All right. The next one is have keywords in your bio. They should be searchable and marketable for Google and on Instagram. So whatever your industry is, go to Google. And I don't know if you're big into SEO, you should be, especially if you have a blog or a podcast, a website, anything like that. At ruthiegray.mom, we are always researching for SEO to put keyword topics in that go along with our podcast. We research titles and keywords for that, and we sprinkle those throughout the transcript. You can, by the way, read the full transcript of every podcast over on ruthiegray.mom. So take your keywords, research your keywords for your industry, make sure those are in your bio, and then sprinkle those throughout your content too, even down to your username. It's super important to use keywords that people are searching. For instance, people search Instagram followers all the time. So you better believe Instagram followers is going to be in our title and sprinkled throughout this transcript. So when people are searching for those kind of topics that they are interested in, or that they need value for, or information on, and that they want to learn about, whether it's recipes, whether it's hair care, whether it's life coaching, those kind of keywords and related keywords need to be in your bio. All right. Finally, this is a biggie. If you've been resistant to Reels, I'm going to encourage you again, be consistent about Reels. You're posting should be consistent and your content should be consistent. As far as posting, post your reels at the same time that you post on a regular basis. Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon, do a reel one of those times. And by the way, don't just stop because you didn't blow up that time. You didn't blow up the internet. You didn't gain 20,000 followers. Keep going because they gain traction. I promise you it works. It works. And even on the low end of the viewership, you'll get more views than you will a regular post. That's just how it works right now because Instagram wants you to use reels. As far as content for reels, it needs to be branded. It needs to be closely related to your bio and your regular content. If potential followers like your reel and the content that you're putting out there, they'll want to visit your profile and see if you got more of that kind of content. So then that creates more followers. So to recap what I just said, these 6 steps are: number 1, spruce up your account. Number 2, showcase your Instagram by cross-platforming. Number 3, start a conversation with your posts. Number 4, collaborate. It's a big one. Number 5, have keywords in your bio be searchable and marketable. And number 6, be consistent with reels. And by the way, if you need ideas for reels, take our Reels personality quiz. It's in my link in bio, but it'll be linked in the show notes. It's on my website at ruthiegray.mom. You get 40 free reels ideas, and you'll be in the loop for my special Black Friday sale. So of course you want to grow your following to market, but what if I told you there's a way to market to a tiny following? And what if you found a way to gain steady followers while marketing to that tiny group? It starts with audience clarity, knowing exactly who you're talking to, and not only that, but the pulse of their pain. If you could just speak their language, if you knew exactly what to post, what attracts and keeps those followers, and not only that, but how to get them off of Instagram and onto your website and newsletter. Social media, as you know, Instagram has been flaky this year. It's been all over the map. One day it went dark for 6 hours. And some days real views are up and others completely nil. And it's obvious the trend is pushing towards video. With all these changes, we need a plan to connect with our followers steadily. And there's only one way to do that, and that's through email marketing. You see, when you own your list, you can email anytime, even when Instagram goes down. I found a way to build connection and community with my followers by combining Instagram and email for steady growth and conversions and sales. My following is not huge, but my people are dialed in. And what's more, they're on my email list. And here's the thing, when they're on both, they often become clients. Rarely do customers and followers purchase straight from Instagram, although it does happen. But usually when it does, it's because they're already on my email list. So come to my live today, listen all about it, get on my email list, take the Reels personality quiz, or send me a DM, and I'll give you all the information you need so that you can make a solid decision about whether Authentic Online Marketing School is for you or not. If you're trying to grow on Instagram, if you're trying to develop solid leads for your book, podcast, blog, business, this is the key. This works. I have a membership community that can attest to it, and you're going to hear from some of them on my live Monday. So join me today, 1 o'clock live, and let's chat about the 4th evergreen Instagram component that translates and drives traffic off of Instagram and where you need it to go. See you soon.